Jackson Koivun has just won on the PGA Tour, and while the entire golf world is busy calling it a nice story for a promising rookie, almost nobody is realizing what actually just happened. This was not a fluke. This was not a hot week. This was not a talented kid getting lucky. What Jackson Koivun just did at the 3M Open is one of the most significant debuts in modern golf history, and the details buried underneath the headline are genuinely staggering. Because in just his third professional start, at 21 years old, 35 days after officially turning pro, Jackson Koivun beat the best golfer on the planet down the stretch on a Sunday afternoon, and the golf world is treating it like a footnote. Hit that subscribe button right now, because once you understand the full picture of what Jackson Koivun just accomplished, you are going to realize we are watching the arrival of a generational talent in real time. Let us get into it. To understand why this win matters so much, you first have to understand who Jackson Koivun actually is, and this is where most casual golf fans have absolutely no idea what they are looking at. Koivun is not just some college golfer who turned pro. He is one of the most decorated amateurs in the entire history of American golf. Let that sink in. Not one of the best of his class, not one of the best of the decade. One of the most decorated amateurs the United States has ever produced, in a lineage that includes names like Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, and Phil Mickelson. During his time at Auburn University, Koivun won 11 tournaments. That is the most in Auburn program history. It is tied for the most in the entire history of the Southeastern Conference, the toughest conference in college golf, and it ranks 7th all-time in the entire history of NCAA Division I golf. Drop a comment right now if you had never even heard the name Jackson Koivun before this week, because what he did statistically in college is almost impossible to believe. His single-season scoring average was 68.2. That number shattered the previous NCAA record, which was held by Colin Morikawa, by more than 4/10 of a stroke. In college golf, beating a scoring record by 4/10 of a stroke is like breaking a world sprint record by a full second. It simply does not happen. His career scoring average of 68.89 is also an NCAA record. He is the only man in history to win all 3 National Player of the Year awards, the Haskins, the Hogan, and the Nicklaus, in the same season, and he did it twice. Once as a freshman in 2024, and again as a junior in 2026. 2 national championships, 3 SEC titles, and a resume so absurd that when he finally arrived on the PGA Tour, the veteran professionals did not know whether to welcome him or hide from him. Smash that like button right now, because what the current PGA Tour stars have been saying about Jackson Koivun is the part of this story that should genuinely give the rest of the field chills. When Koivun made his professional debut at the John Deere Classic in early July, reporters went around asking established PGA Tour winners what advice they would give the rookie. The answers were not normal. Ben Griffin, a PGA Tour winner himself, laughed and said there was nothing he could possibly say that would help a kid who is probably already better than he is. Think about that. A Tour winner openly admitting the 21-year-old rookie is already better than him. Russell Henley, a 6-time PGA Tour winner who lives about 30 miles from Auburn and regularly practices with Koivun, said he does not think Koivun has much left to learn, and then delivered the quote that says everything. Henley said he always tells Koivun to just let him know when he turns pro, so that he can retire. That was a joke, but it was the kind of joke that veterans make when they see something they know they cannot compete with. And then there is Justin Thomas, a major champion and former world number 1, who played 2 practice rounds with Koivun at the 2025 US Open at Oakmont. Thomas said that was all he needed to see. He remembered walking away thinking this kid is really good. When a 2-time major champion tells you a college kid left an impression after just 2 practice rounds, you should be paying attention. And here is what nobody is realizing. All of those quotes were said before Koivun won on the PGA Tour. The praise was already overflowing when he was still just a promising amateur. Now he has a trophy. Before we get into how he actually won, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button, because this is the channel that breaks down the next generation of golf stars before the rest of the world catches on, and you do not want to miss what is coming. Now, do you think Jackson Koivun is going to be a top 10 player in the world within 2 years, or is that timeline too conservative? Drop your honest prediction in the comments, because the way he actually won the 3M Open is the detail that changes everything. At the 3M Open at TPC Twin Cities, Koivun did not just win. He entered the final round on Sunday with a 3-shot lead after firing a 61 in the 3rd round. A 61. Then, when the pressure was at its absolute highest, when the entire golf world expected the 21-year-old rookie to crack under the weight of a maiden PGA Tour victory, he fired a final round 5 under 66, and the man chasing him down the stretch was not some journeyman, it was Scottie Scheffler. The world number one, the most dominant golfer on the planet, the player who has spent years making everyone else look ordinary. Koivun held off Scottie Scheffler on a Sunday to win his first PGA Tour title. His 4-round total was 25 under par, which was a tournament record, not a good score. A record, in his third professional start, against the best field he had ever faced. That is not a fluke, that is a statement. Here is the thing that puts it all in perspective. The PGA Tour has been absolutely brutal to recent college stars. This is the part everyone forgets. For all the hype that surrounds top amateurs, the professional game has a long and painful history of chewing them up and spitting them out. ESPN pointed out that at this level, where players like Adam Scott are teeing up in their 100th consecutive major, and Scottie Scheffler simply exists, raw talent is not enough. The PGA Tour brushes aside collegiate accolades with the swift, brutal reality of missed cuts. Sky-high expectations turn into vexing valleys, careers that looked destined for greatness stall out before they ever begin. And Jackson Koivun just skipped that entire process. He turned pro on June 12th. He made the cut at the U.S. Open as an amateur, finishing tied for 23rd and earning co-low amateur honors. Then he officially began his professional career at the John Deere Classic, and by his third start he had already won 35 days. That is how long it took Jackson Koivun to win on the PGA Tour after turning professional. And here is another detail nobody is talking about. Koivun could have turned pro a full year earlier. He earned enough points through the PGA Tour University Accelerated program to secure his tour card after his sophomore year. Most players in his position would have taken the money and run. Koivun did the opposite. He chose to stay at Auburn for another season, and he led the Tigers to another national championship. He delayed his own professional payday to win one more title for his college. That tells you something about his character that the statistics never could. And now that he is here, the numbers back up every single piece of the hype. According to Data Golf, Koivun's true strokes gained average already ranks 28th in the entire world. He is statistically in the same neighborhood as Hideki Matsuyama and Shane Lowry, both major champions. He ranks ahead of Wyndham Clark, a US Open champion, and ahead of Akshay Bhatia, one of the most exciting young players in the game, and he just got there. Here is where things get genuinely serious. Because with the 3M Open win, Jackson Koivun is now qualified for the 2027 Masters and the 2027 PGA Championship. He has locked himself into the biggest stages in golf before most players his age have even earned their tour card, and the confidence to match the talent is already there. In his own words, before he even won, Koivun said he feels like he can beat anyone. Most rookies say that, and it sounds like naive bravado. Koivun said it and then went out and beat Scottie Scheffler. What nobody is realizing is that we may be witnessing the exact moment a new era of golf begins. For years, the conversation has been about Scottie Scheffler's dominance, about Rory McIlroy chasing history, about the LIV golf civil war tearing the sport apart. And quietly, in the background, a 21-year-old from San Jose, California, has arrived with a resume that rivals anyone who has ever played college golf, the endorsement of every veteran who has watched him swing a club, and a game that is already ranked among the top 30 players on earth. The golf world spent this week calling Jackson Koivun a nice story. They should have been calling him what he actually is, the future. And the future did not arrive in 5 years. It arrived in his third professional start, on a Sunday, with the world number one trailing behind him. And if you want to be the first to know when the next chapter of this story breaks, you need to be subscribed to this channel right now. We are covering every single move Jackson Koivun makes on his way to the top. Every major, every win, every moment that defines what is shaping up to be one of the biggest careers golf has seen in a generation. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and join this community so you never miss a breakdown. This is the channel that saw it coming before everyone else did, and you do not want to be the last one to find out what happens next. So tell me, is Jackson Koivun going to be the next dominant force in professional golf? Or is the pressure of these sky-high expectations going to be too much even for a talent this rare? Drop your verdict in the comments, smash that like button if you want more breakdowns on golf's rising stars, and subscribe right now because Jackson Koivun's next chapter might just be the most exciting storyline in the entire sport.